Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Just give me 1 second. Share my screen. Hare Krishna, can everyone see my screen? Canto 3, chapter 9, text 17.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. We'll start with a small prayer and then we will start studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmaya Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayamrupakaramayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Judapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sagara Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vacha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Pakum karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. We are reading Canto 3, Chapter 9, 19, text 70. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Thank you. Atho Rudrashra Janmayam
Atorudha Srajanmayam
Yogamayeshwara Haro
Yogamayeshware
Yam Vilokya Prajastrista
Yam Vilokya Prajastrasta
Menire Asyo Pasyamayamam
Meniro Asyo
Pasamyasam.
Athorudashra Janmayam
Atorudha Srajanmayam
Yogamayeshwara Haro
Yogamayeshware Haro
Yam Vilokya Prajastrista
Yam Vilokya Prajastrasta
Meniresyo Pasmayam
Yamam
Athorudashra Janmayam
Atorudasra Janmayam
Yogamayeshwara Haro
Yogamayeshware Haro
Yam Vilokya Prajastrista
Yam Vilokya Prajastrasta
Meniresyo Pasyam Yamam.
Menirosyo Yamam.
Anybody would like to recite?
Atorudasra Janmayam
Athorudashra Janmayam
Yogamayeshware Haro
Yogamayeshware Haro
Yam Vilokya Prajastrasta
Yam Vilokya Prajastrista
Menirosyo Pasamyamam.
Meniresyo Sasamyamam. Anyone else?
Atorudashra Janmayam
Athorudashra Janmayam
Yogamayeshware Harau
Yogamayeshware Harau
Yam Vilokya Prajastrasta
Yam Vilokya Prajastrasta
Menire Asyopasamyamam
Menire Asyopasamyam
Adorachan Mayan
Yo adorudasrajamaya
Yoga Maheshwara Hara
Yogamayeshware Harau
Yam Viloka Prajastrasta
Yam Vilokya Prajastrasta
Pasaram
Menire Asyopasamyamam. Wonderful. We'll read the translation. The demon, however, employed many conjuring tricks against the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of Yoga Maya. At the sight of this, the people were filled with alarm and thought that dissolution of the universe was near. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The fighting enjoyment of the Supreme Lord with his devotee, who had been converted into a demon, appeared severe enough to bring about dissolution of universe. This is the greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the wavering of his little finger appears to be a great and very dangerous movement in the eyes of inhabitants of the universe. So before we start, want to seek all of your blessings. I'm given this a big opportunity. Being a small person, I cannot speak on this topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, and that too specifically about this beautiful narration of Varahadev fighting with Hiranyaksha. So yesterday, Nandaniketan Prabhu was beautifully explaining about the beauty of this pastime. So I want to seek your blessings. Thank you. When I was reading this verse, I was thinking about what does it bring in our life? I was hearing another class by my spiritual master called as Krishna's Great Multitasking. And this is actually covering Canto 10, and it is covering about the last pastime of Jai and Vijay. So Jai and Vijay, all of us know, but I just want to draw the path here so we understand where we are coming from and where we are leading towards. So Jai and Vijay have been cursed by 4 Kumaras to take 3 births in the material world. However, with the benediction that all the three pastimes or all the 3 birth will basically end with Lord Vishnu killing them, Lord Krishna killing them in different incarnations. Right? This is the glory. And I was just thinking about, this is Canto 10 which we are reading, and I was hearing Canto 10, which is, you see, from 3 to 10, which is a huge passage, right? When we talk about going from Canto 3 to Canto 10, it's a big milestone. And behind that, there are millions of years being passed. And I was just thinking, imagine being cursed for millions of years. And that too, not in an ordinary person like me. These are the gatekeepers of. Thank you. These are the gatekeepers of Vishnu now, right? They are cursed to actually take 3 births. So first birth, which happens in the Satya Yuga, is Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, who have been killed by Varahadev and Narsingadev. And the next birth, they take the form of Ravana and Kumbhakarna. Thank you, Prabhuji. And they have been, their pastime unmanifest with the help of Lord Ramchandra. Lord Ramchandra kills them. Then the same soul, remember this pastime which is very important, the same soul is transmigrating, not like us transmigrating, but at the same time, moving from this pastime to the next pastime, which is now Shishupal and Dantavakra, being killed by Lord Krishna just before Kali Yuga at the end of Dwapar Yuga. Right? So these pastimes are ending in Canto 10, that devotee who have been nicely serving just because of one mistake of not respecting the devotees at the doorstep of Vishnu Loka have been cursed to go through this experience. So I wanted to actually focus on two aspects mainly in this conversation, and I will connect this. While I'll share what I heard in my in the class of my spiritual master, how it is connecting, and then I will also talk about another pastime from Chaitanya Charitamrita. The topic or the subject we are discussing here is Lord Krishna's inconceivable pastimes. When we talk about inconceivable, in material world, a person who has no connection with Krishna consciousness, for him nothing is inconceivable. He thinks I can gain anything. And there is nothing I know everything, right? That's one thing which we focus on. I know everything. At work also, we have to showcase whether I know or I don't know. I have to showcase I know everything, because otherwise you're going to get a pink slip. So we just talk about that I know everything. But at the same time, when we come to Krishna consciousness, we realize we don't know anything. Krishna's pastimes are so inconceivable. Prabhupada is beautifully explaining the fighting enjoyment of the Supreme Lord with his devotee. Prabhupada did not mention Hiranyaksha as a demon first. He is explaining about his devotional quality. He is explaining him as a devotee first, who had been converted into a demon or covered by the so-called illusory energy of the Lord. So, though Hiranyaksha is in the form of a devotee, but his consciousness is covered so that this rasa of fighting can be experienced. Otherwise, how is Hiranyaksha going to fight with Lord Varaha? Thinking that, oh, he's my Lord. How am I going to fight with him? So it is so inconceivable that he's covered under the illusory energy of the Lord and fighting with the demon or fighting with the Lordship, right? This is very interesting to see. We talk about, thank you, please bless me so I speak something which is uplifting to our consciousness. Thank you. So this is very inconceivable. We talk about that we should not criticize devotees, right? We should offer our humble obeisances to all the devotees. You see, in every devotional prayer, every devotional aspect of our life, the respect to Vaishnava is always included. We say Vancha Kalpatarubhesha. When we offer the prayer at the end, all glories to the assembled devotees. We say it 3 times. We don't repeat any other prayer 3 times except that one, saying that humble obeisance to all the devotees, right? Which is very important aspect to bring in our life, that we should always consider the devotee's lotus feet like a throne. Oh, sorry, like a jewel. Like we should be taking shelter of the lotus feet of all the devotees. Like beautifully, Vamandev puts his feet on the head of Bali Maharaj. Our aspiration should be that we should be under the feet of all the Vaishnavas. That is the quality, that is the attitude of a devotee. However, here we see Jay and Vijay are actually trying to kill Krishna. They are trying to kill different incarnation of Krishna. What a tough service they have been given. What a tough service they have been given, that they have to fight with Krishna. And now there is a Narsingha Chaturdashi coming. When we read about the atrocities Hiranyakashipu rendered on Prahlad Maharaj, he's a pure devotee of the Lord. He is one of the 12 Mahajans. And Jay and Vijay are cursed to become Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, and they are trying to give atrocities to Prahlad Maharaj. He's trying to, Hiranyakashipu specifically, is trying to throw Prahlad from the cliff. He's trying to throw him in the pit of snakes. He's trying to actually throw him in front of mad elephants. Now, this is a height of criticism, right? We hear about don't criticize devotees. Imagine what a tough service they are rendering here. When I was just hearing my spiritual master, whatever I'm speaking, whatever good is there, it is all the instruction of my spiritual master, whatever I heard. And any wrong things or anything which I do not speak properly, please forgive me, that is coming from my new sense. So, Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Bhagwana ki jai, Jai Patita Pavana Gaura Hari ki jai. So, we see beautiful Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha now coming to Canto 10 and killing Shishupal and Dantavakra. I want to connect these dots and I want to talk about the inconceivable potency of the Lord. So, I'm sharing Canto 10, chapter 78, text 16. Okay. It actually starts, and I'm just going to go a little back and I'm just going to read few verses because it's a very strong connection. The chapter is the killing of Dantavakra, Viduratha, who is actually the brother of Dantavakra, and Romaharshana. We will not be covering Romaharshana, but I'm just speaking about that. So, text 1 and 2 starts. Sukadeva Goswami said, acting out of friendship of Shishupal, Shalva and Panduraka, who had all passed on the next world, the wicked Dantavakra appeared on the battlefield in a great rage. O king, all alone on foot and wielding a club in his hand. The mighty warrior shook the earth with his footsteps. Seeing Dantavakra approach, Lord Krishna quickly picked up his club, jumped down from the chariot and stopped his advancing opponent just as the shore holds back the ocean. This is 4th. Raising the club, the reckless king of Kurusha said to Lord Mukunda, what luck, to have you come before me today. Now this is, I'm not going to move forward with other shlokas, but this is very wonderful point which Prabhupada is bringing, and hear me out. Srila Sridhar Goswami explains that after having waited for 3 lifetimes, Dantavakra, formerly a gatekeeper in the Vaikuntha, could now return to spiritual world. Imagine the ecstasy of Dantavakra here. Just for a minute, just get into. We can't, because he is. They are Jai Vijay. So I'm not elevated there, but thinking about, wow, after 3 births, not just like 50 years, 60 years or 70 years, millions of years. Now I'm going back to my service to the Lordship. So imagine his ecstasy, and Prabhupada is explaining, could now return to spiritual world. Therefore, the transcendental meaning of statement is, how fortunate I am that today I can return to my constitutional position in the spiritual world. In the next verse, Dantavakra will refer to Krishna as Matulya, a material cousin. Dantavakra's mother, Shrutashwara, was the sister of Krishna's father. So I'm directly going back to the 16th verse, which is beautifully explaining about what has happened here. So Krishna is actually, after killing Shishupal, he is about to go to Dwarka. But at that time, Narada Muni appears. He said, Dantavakra is actually about to attack Mathura. And Krishna immediately takes up this opportunity and appears there in Mathura, in front of Dantavakra. So Dantavakra, when he sees Krishna is actually fighting with him, and he just kills him with the blow of conch, just he's done with his last pastime. And at that time, Viduratha is also thinking that, my brother was killed by Krishna, I'm going to fight him. Now let's pause for a second and think about the mentality of Viduratha. He saw Kamsa was killed, he saw Shishupal, and all his friends and brothers are dead in front of Krishna. But what he thinks, oh, I'm going to kill Krishna. Who is he? He doesn't know me. How powerful I am. I was hearing my spiritual master, he talked about that is the power of false ego. How illusory energy works. Very deeper point there actually. We see, and I'm just thinking about myself. When I was hearing, many years back, when I was hearing from my counselor, when we were reading together Srimad Bhagavatam, he said, this world is a Dukhalyama Shashvatam. Yes, Dukhalyama Shashvatam. Theoretically understood. But I feel it's not going to happen to me. Why? Oh, because I'm practicing my spiritual life. Maybe it is all about that false ego thinking that I'm practicing my spiritual life perfectly. Though I'm not able to chant my 16 rounds as attentively as I have promised to my spiritual master. But the power of false ego is so strong that I feel it's not going to happen to me. So Vidurata is thinking, he's not thinking that Krishna killed so many of my cousins, my friends, and I can also be that. He's still attacking Krishna with that false ego. And again, you are all elevated. But this is one thing which we need to be always being conscious about is when we come in devotional circle, when we come in front of devotees, when we come in association of devotees, sometimes these material tendencies overpower the spiritual enlightenment or the spiritual knowledge we acquire. So what happens with that? I'm going to quickly stop sharing my screen. So what happens with that? We actually think, oh, I'm right. Yugal Kishore, His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu was beautifully explaining in Wednesday class, the tendency to be mechanical is so strong. I come and enter to the temple, offer my prayer, Vancha Kalpatarubhase Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebe Vaishnavi Namo Namah. It's so mechanical that I do not actually, just after a minute, a devotee says something, oh Prabhu, I'm not going to do this. Or we want to actually, at least I want to overstep on another devotee and I want to be in limelight. Right? So this thought process of a false ego, this tendency to actually think I am superior is so deep rooted within our material existence. And if we see the reason for we coming to this material world from spiritual world is because of envy. And because of envy, when we come here, the first thing which is done, and we know about that stuff, is mind is created. And the mind is created in such a way that we think that, I think that I am the center of the universe. Everything should revolve around me. I should get an opportunity to sing. I should get an opportunity to do a deity seva. I should get an opportunity to get prasadam first in the line. I should be getting the credit of having an extra gulab jamun. Everything revolves just around me. That is the power of false ego. So how do we overcome that false ego? Or how do we make sure our tendency to not degrade our consciousness from a spiritual background to the material background is how attentively we hear, how attentively we follow the instruction of our spiritual master. So apparently it looks like, oh, this is Srimad Bhagavatam class, the same Sunday feast. I'm just going to hear some speaker is going to sit on the chair, will speak on the Sunday feast, and I'm going to hear. What is so different about it? I just do the same activity. We perform Guru Puja. Achyut Gopal Prabhu is beautifully narrating the meaning of Guru Puja, focusing on every individual word. It is a very, if you speak the same lines to outside world, they will be, man, which language are you speaking? Because these words are not spoken generally, right? Right? Taking the shelter of the dust of the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Oh, Krishna. First, the lotus feet, lotus itself, lotus feet. I've heard about feet. I never heard about lotus feet. Spiritual master, okay, I heard about Guru, maybe, just a material concept. And dust of the lotus feet of the spiritual master, Krishna. We just broom to remove the dust. But we are expecting that I should apply the tilak of the dust of the lotus feet of spiritual master and all Vaishnavas. Very inconceivable. So, when there is, in material world, there is a concept about being mindful. And that is actually very important in spiritual life because the whole tendency to be ritual is very strong. We want to put a spiritual perspective to rituals so that they don't just become mechanical. And that's how we can overcome the tendency to forget Krishna and its devotees and get out of the clutches of false ego. Coming back to the topic of inconceivable energy of Krishna. I was just reading, thank you to Shyam Krishna Prabhu, he actually gave a beautiful book which I was reading to Mukunda, and I was just connecting how inconceivable Krishna's pastimes are. So this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. who is concerned about what is happening in Gauda Desh. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Srila Nityananda Prabhu to preach the devotional service. Right? He was telling that we should fill the Gauda Desh with the holy name of Krishna. And Nityananda Prabhu reaches there. But then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't hear much about what is going on in Gauda. And he gets to know that there is no Krishna Katha going on. And Srila Advaita Acharya actually left the doctrine of devotional service and he is preaching about salvation. Lord Chaitanya is really worried. What is going on? Let's pause for a second. We just had Srila Advaita Acharya's appearance day a few weeks back. He is Lord Vishnu himself. What is the possibility of he speaking about anything other than devotional service? But here the news comes to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Advaita Acharya is preaching about salvation. And Lord Chaitanya is concerned about it. So Lord Chaitanya is concerned about it and he shares with the other devotees. Ramananda Rai is there and then Swarup Damodar Goswami is there and he shares this concern. This is what I'm hearing and I'm really concerned about this. How could Srila Advaita Acharya do this stuff? And preaching about, he knows the glory of devotional service. How is he preaching about that? Internally in the heart, he knows that stuff, what is going on. But see the inconceivable energy of the Lord. So here, Lord Chaitanya is thinking what can be done. At that time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya comes. And then when Lord Chaitanya is speaking to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya about that, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and remember the beautiful pastime which happened just few cantos before where Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was preaching about salvation. And he is taking up devotional service based on what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu transformed him to. And now when he heard that, he is raised with anger. How could someone preach about that? We are going to go, we all three will go there and defeat his all arguments. And Lord Chaitanya is concerned. He's asking Swarup Damodar Goswami, he's asking Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, what should I do? Please guide me. Interesting. Lord Chaitanya is asking his devotee, can you explain me what should I do? Because I am away from Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is away from me. I do not know what has to be done. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and I'm just thinking about, he must be smiling and thinking about, Lord, you are inconceivable. You know everything. What are you asking me? What I'm going to do? And he says, I don't know anything. You know everything about it. Why don't you go to Lord Jagannath? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, yes, I think that's a good idea. And he goes to Lord Jagannath Ji's temple in Jagannath Puri and he offers his prayer to Lord Jagannath. And he asks saying that, can you help me? What is going on here? What should we do? I want to bring in another person who can transform the Gauda to the spiritual world. Gaudadesh. So Jagannath Ji smiles, Lord, you know everything. What should I tell you? But there is one devotee, Chaitanya Das. He is a wonderful devotee and he asked for a son. He asked the benediction of a son. Probably he is a right candidate. His son is a right candidate. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes very happy, dances in the kirtan and comes back. And then shares this information to all the devotees there. And now he is thinking, where is Chaitanya Das? So he called Mother Bhumi. Today is a Mother's Day. So Mother Bhumi has been giving us so much. I want to talk just few lines on that. So he's telling Mother Earth, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is calling Mother Earth is so excited to take the darshan of Lord Chaitanya. And she says, how can I serve? Lord Chaitanya says, the Gaudadesh is going to be transformed to the spiritual world. And I know the son of Chaitanya Das, I want you to invest all your energy which is given by me to the son of Chaitanya Das. And Mother Earth says, okay, I'll do that. And Lord Chaitanya asked Kashi Mishra that you go and search for where is Chaitanya Das. He said he was there in Jagannath Puri some time back. I'll search. He's not there anymore. But he went somewhere. I'll find it out. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is feeling separation. Separation of what? That the devotees or The material world is filled with people who do not have inclination to practice devotional service. He is crying. I was thinking, what is all about taking the heart or understanding the heart of spiritual master and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He is looking to preach Krishna's message everywhere. This is the biggest responsibility we all have. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. So, here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is crying, and Mother Earth, feeling that separation, she is trembling. And what is happening is the whole Gaudadesh, it's not earthquake which is happening, but the earth is so much feeling, they're so distressed because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distressed that why Gaudadesh is not transformed into the spiritual world. So the Pujari of Jagannath Ji comes in, I'm not able to worship Lord Jagannath Ji because when I touch Lord Jagannath's body, it is so shaking, I'm not able to practice my Pujari, whatever devotional service I'm going to do. And all the devotees also come to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying that, please you do something. And Lord Chaitanya again calls Mother Earth, you control yourself. And he asked Mother Earth, can you find out where is Chaitanya Das? And Mother Earth asked, how do I understand who is Chaitanya Das? There are so many Chaitanya Das. And Lord Chaitanya explains. After 3 days, Mother Earth comes and tells to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I found one devotee. Right? He is in the village of Chakradi. I do not remember the exact word, so please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. So, is that Chakradi, Prabhuji? Is that the village name?
I don't know.
Okay, no worries. So, that's where he is. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is excited. At that time, he appears in the dream of Chaitanya Das and his wife Lakshmi Priya. And Lakshmi Priya says, I see all the auspicious omens around me. Everything is looking so wonderful. And he is saying, I am like Chaitanya Das saying, I don't have any money. How am I going to take care of you and the little one? She says, all our problems are going to go away. We won't be under poverty stricken. Because there is one Jamindar who ran away because of the Qazis. Now he's going to come back. And he comes to Chaitanya Das' home. And Chaitanya Das serves him nicely. And he is thinking, the Zamindar used to worship the demigods, Mother Kali or Mother Durga. And he comes there and Chaitanya Das is very trembling, I'm practicing devotional service, I'm practicing the worshipping of Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya. How is he going to take it? He's Zamindar. So he comes and he's being served nicely. And he stays to the house of Chaitanya Das. In that night, he has a dream. It's a very, very beautiful thing. He hears there are kartals, there are mradangas being played. There is a holy name kirtan going on. He opens his eyes. He do not hear anything. He do not see anything. But he still hear that. And he comes to Chaitanya Das, that I hear this. He said, no, there is no kirtan going on. He says, I know. Lord Chaitanya appeared in my dream. He says, just make sure you arrange everything for Chaitanya Das. And that's how Chaitanya Das and Lakshmi Priya are being taken care nicely by the Zamindar. Everything is being orchestrated when we align our goals with the goal of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to our spiritual master, to our Shiksha Gurus, or whoever our mentor are. As long as we are aligned to their vision, as long as we are aligned to their instruction, everything else is taken care of. Everything else is taken care of. So, now Srinivas Acharya, that is whom we are talking about. This wonderful personality is about to come. But before his appearance, everyone is glorifying him. Everyone is talking about him. There Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, Srila Rupa and Sanatan Goswami was sitting in Vrindavan, writing the books, are being sent, are being told. And Lord Chaitanya appeared in the dream. He write a letter also, but he appears in the dream of Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami. That when you write these books, after my unmanifested pastimes, after I unmanifest from this material world, Srinivas Acharya is going to come and take these instructions of all the 6 Goswamis and preach ahead. And Rupa and Sanatan Goswami are ecstatic. At the same time, they are feeling separation from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when we get to see him. I was just thinking about this beautiful aspect of how Srila Rupa and Sanatan Goswami is feeling separation. They are away from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because they took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction to be the worshipable deity. Though they are feeling separation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but they realize it is a higher thing to do service. Whatever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them, to follow those instructions rather than me being an association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or us being an association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is a very wonderful quality which we should imbibe in our life. It is not all about being in physical proximity of our mentor or our spiritual master. It is all about following the instruction, which is not easy. I struggle on that. So I just want to beg apologies if I'm speaking something which I'm not at that stage. So please forgive me, bless me so that I can also follow that. So where we are talking about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's inconceivable pastimes, and he is feeling separation from all the devotees, and he wants to empower Srinivas Acharya so that he can empower the Gaudadesh. This is the inconceivable pastime of Krishna. When we were now going back to the pastime of Dantavakra being killed. Let's think more deeper in terms of inconceivable pastimes of Lord Chaitanya or Lord Krishna here. Lord Krishna realizes that Dantavakra is coming and attacking Mathura, so he comes there. There is a dual purpose. Lord is not dual. When we talk about 3D, 4D, 5D, Krishna is in 15 or unlimited Ds, unlimited dimensions. We were just discussing on Wednesday class. We were beautifully discussing about few questions towards the end of the class. His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu was mentioning. And there is a similar thing I was hearing from a spiritual master, that bhakti is not black and white. There are a variety of shades in between. And that is, the more we realize, the more we tune into those various shades, it becomes easy to take up devotional service and experiencing different flavors in part of devotional service, as part of devotional service. So Krishna appears there in Mathura, he kills Dantavakra, he kills Vidurata, and then he comes to Vrindavan. This is getting really, really, everything is sweet.
I can't hear, Prabhuji.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. We are trying to reach the temple devotees to fix the audio and video.
Okay, Prabhuji. No problem.
Yes.
Sorry.
Thank you.
It's just recording. Can you hear us now, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Now it is fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Sorry. Yeah, I think it just something happened with Zoom, so it just went on to default mute mode. So my sincere apologies. So what we have been talking so far is the inconceivable energy of Krishna. When he comes from Dwarka, he comes to Vrindavan, and then he meets all the devotees of Vrindavan. He is so cherishing that moment, and after 2 months staying with them, he is taking back them to spiritual world. Bhoma Vrindavan is also spiritual world, but now he is taking them to Golok Vrindavan in the same body. And the verse which we were referring to, which I was hearing from my spiritual master, he specifically refers that Sukhadeva Goswami does not tell Parikshit Maharaj about this. Now, this is very interesting. So don't ask me details. I'm not qualified to speak. I don't have details about that. But Parikshit Maharaj knows how in Dwarka, Krishna's children, how they actually finish their pastimes. We know about that pastime, that they fight amongst each other and they go back to spiritual world. So the thought process may come, how is that different? Here, Vrindavan Vasis are going in the same body, very spiritually, blissfully, spending 2 great. Imagine Janmashtami experience. Imagine Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthday experience, the appearance day experience, if that continues for 2 months. How? And that, when we talk about the Sambhog and Vipralamba Bhav, when that comes together. Now Krishna is coming after many years. Now they are experiencing, wow, Krishna, you're back. Their whole existence was around to see Krishna. And now is he back? They 2 months, they experience that intensity which they were experiencing before in a Vipralamba Bhav, and they go back to spiritual world now. And here also they go in the spiritual world, but how is the ending pastime? So Sukadeva Goswami doesn't talk about that in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is mentioned in the Padma Purana, which is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. So I was thinking about what is the glory of Srila Prabhupada? Something which Parikshit Maharaj missed. He is such an elevated devotee, right? Krishna personally appeared there in the womb of Uttara to save him. And Prabhupada is taking that opportunity to extracting that information from Padma Purana and sharing this with us. This is the inconceivable energy of the devotees of Krishna. If we see Prabhupada's pastime, if we see, okay, Prabhuji, you need some water. Good. Thank you, brother. Inconceivable pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, how much he went through. We were just reading it a few weeks back. Prabhupada was cooking for so many devotees. So-called devotees at the time, they were not devotees, they were about to be devotees. But they come in association of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is cooking for them, and after that washing all the vessels. And I know how the washing vessels work, because when I do it at home, I'm like grudgingly doing it. Prabhupada is cooking for them at the age of 70 and then washing the vessels for them. If you think about what is the probability of a person who is going at the age of 70 coming to Western countries whom he doesn't know anyone, he doesn't have any money, his health is not good. What is the possibility of he building so many thousands of temples? Probability is 0, right? If you think from a material calculation, what is the probability? 0, right? But this is the inconceivable potency which manifests in the devotees also. I want to share my personal realization. We all are sitting here on Zoom or in the temple. I just want to share this with you so that you all know how that inconceivable energy or potency is baked within you also. I was in the hospital When Nayan Sundari was on ventilator, she is not conscious. She doesn't know anything what is going on. You all are praying. Toronto General Hospital is ranked number 4 in the world. I just heard it for the first time. I'll repeat, number 4 in the world I'm talking about. Which means these doctors are top notch. And I see them clueless. Literally clueless. They don't know what is going on. The transplant team, which is considered to be the world's 4th hospital transplant, the biggest transplant center in the world, is Toronto General Hospital. Don't you know what happens if something like that happens? We don't know what is going on. They don't want to accept, but you clearly see they don't know what is going on. They don't know whether it is a infection, whether it is a rejection. If it is infection, the medicines aren't working. Rejection, we are giving the medicine still. We try every option, try everything. Give this also, this also, this also. Nothing is working. They don't understand what is going on. What is the probability of a person lying on that bed to come back to normal, or at least come back from that unknown situation to a known situation? I just want to offer my humble obeisances to all of your lotus feet, and I want to spell this out. Don't ever think Krishna is not listening to your prayers. When you pray to Krishna, things manifest. It just we don't see it with our eyes. Like we do not see the same pastimes are being played one or the other universe. Krishna is being in Vrindavan, playing with the Gopas right now, but we cannot see that because it is it is not visible to us. Similarly, how Krishna is reciprocating to our prayers, what magic is he doing? Unfortunately, we cannot see it. So never ever think that my prayers are of no value or my prayers are not being answered. Let's take this an opportunity. It is 9:14 and I was told to end at 9:15. Let's take this opportunity to chant 3 times Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for our entire community. Narsingadev Chaturdashi is coming, which is reminding of Narsingadev as well as Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was ready to take the sins of everyone. We are not qualified to do that. But with his vow, let's extend our prayer to not just to the community, to the entire world, to every living entity, that they do not forget Krishna, they always remember Krishna. Let's chant 3 times Hare Krishna Maha Mantra together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Hare.
Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai. Any reflections? Anything? Any correction someone wants to share?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have a question.
You will answer, Prabhupada.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really like that you said everything revolves around me. That's so true. I mean, that's so, I mean, how much ever one may advance and think, that me, like I am doing it, or I want it, or I want food, I should, and even if, sometimes, like, yeah, we may have to, like, it's needed, like, I need to sleep, like, but still, it's just, I consumption is so much there. And, so how to get rid of the I consumption? Because the thing is that on one hand, we want to do things, we want to achieve things, we want to, I mean, we should not say achieve, we want to carry out sadhana for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. But then at the same time, there's no point of doing sadhana if, I conception is there. So, how to come out of the conception. Like, and you said also spiritual world means, I mean, the way I registered in my heart is spiritual world means thirst for seva, extreme thirst for seva. So that thirst for seva, we see I always thought of this, like devotees in Navadvip or Vrindavana, Ikachakra, they're doing service day and night. And they never feel like, well, I cooked such a wonderful feast, and now today is the day, I have to sit and enjoy, and this is my break now, I'm taking a break now from seva, whatever, even 1 minute. But they never think like that. Like, they never think that I need a break from even for a second. They never think like that. So, how to forget oneself?
Amazing. How to forget oneself. Would you like to answer the question? That's it, Gopal, who you're going to add, bro. So two of my mentors here, who have been helping me to grow in Krishna consciousness, are asking me a question. It's like a father asking a son, can you tell me how to drive? I'll share what I heard from them, just for my purification. There is a journey and there is a goal. Would you feel free to correct me on that? Our journey has been for many, many lifetimes, not for everyone, but for me definitely. We have been away from Krishna. We have been focusing on how can I enjoy, how can I survive, how giving an I or living in I world. So it's a journey from I to K. I to K, which means K means Krishna. Not easy because it's a many, many lifetimes of conditioning. However, when Srila Prabhupada explains this is beautiful thing, right? So when a person has a jaundice, his tongue is bitter, right? He can't experience anything. He doesn't get the taste of sweetness or anything like that. He just loses the taste. But by drinking the sugar cane again and again, that disease goes away. So experiencing these festivals, experiencing the joy of devotional service. Prabhupada says, if I'm not enthusiastic, try to pretend being enthusiastic. Try to pretend, how can I get away from I world? Giving the other person's opportunity. I'll share one incident which I very strongly remember. There was one Sunday feast a few years back. Achyut Gopal Prabhu was serving with, I was also serving, and we were serving the devotees. We cooked prasad. Most of the time it is always more, but somehow that day, a lot of devotees came. And prasadam was already over. There was hardly anything left for the service. So we made few plates for servers. And we had a plate for everyone there. We made it before. However, one devotee who was cooking, he didn't get the prasad. So the devotee came, is there a prasad? And it was just me and Achyut Gopal Prabhu serving at that time. All the devotees went. Oh, yes, it is there. He gave his plate to him. And somehow whatever was little left, very, very little, he took it in the plate. And he was honoring the prasadam there. And my plate was full, 2 puris, sabji, chapati, rice, dal. I wasn't able to eat, remembering him, how to get out of I consciousness. This may appear as a small incident, but this actually shows the attitude of a devotee who wants to keep himself the last. Another example I want to share. Let's come back to the question which is talking about how can I get out of I consciousness. So this is first example, which is practicing that in a smaller way that I want to do that. Second is praying, and this is what Shyam Kishore Prabhu taught me, praying intensely to to spiritual master to get us away with the bodily platform. How do we do that? How do we go above the bodily platform? I'll be very honest. These are small glimpses Krishna gives in our life. All of us have experienced during Janmashtami. We are fasting without water. We are fasting without food for entire day. But still, it is all about how can I serve? How can I cook for others? I remember every Janmashtami, Sunil Prabhu and the whole team serves prasad. There is a difference between how to fast and how to be detached. When you are close to prasad and when you are hungry for the entire day, to see prasad and giving to others and not having it, it's so austerity. It is not a small thing to actually overcome that, because prasadam is not in front of you, you don't get it. That's okay, you will somehow survive, but you are there cooking prasadam, serving prasadam. That is how we become, we overcome the attitude of I. And Shyam Krishna Prabhu is talking about himself. He has been serving every day, waking up the Lord every morning, irrelevant of however his health is. What does it teach? How can I go above the bodily platform? How can I go beyond the I platform? He was just sharing a beautiful thing. It just was very deep in my heart. The other day, when we had 3-day festival, he mentioned his Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu didn't eat till evening. And he was like still serving, and I've seen it not one time, many times. He would come there, especially the day, he serves all the day or every time, but especially the day when there is a fasting, when we have like time, I want to finish, either it's Prabhupada's appearance day or any other day, Janmashtami next day, right? When you are eager to break that fast, that is the time we have to cross this test. Can I overcome this urge to eat? I remember, and it's there in this temple also, but I just strongly remember, so I want to share. In Pune, whenever the Prabhupada's appearance day would be there, all the brahmacharis, including the vice president, in this case Radhesham Prabhu, would serve the prasadam to all the devotees. Interesting. And I will be the first one to grab the plate, because here it's like 100, there are thousands of devotees, and Prabhupada's appearance day feast is like, it's if someone wants to know what is sense gratification, they have to experience its content. Though we talk about we shouldn't do sense gratification, but what is the real spiritual sense gratification that we get to know? That day, you have Malpua, which is so rare to get on a regular day. You have 3 sweets. You have so many sabjis, you have so many varieties of chapati, you have so many varieties of rice, you may have so many varieties of. How can I resist so the other person can get it? I remember a similar experience in Yatras, when we would go around Prabhupada's disappearance day in Kartik month. All the senior brahmacharis would come and serve that day. I would be the first one to stand. Prabhupada's offerings are going on, and then I want to get prasad. I've been hungry for how much time? That day is actually just 4 hours, right? So like 6, if you wake up at 5, maybe 7 hours, but anyhow, you don't eat at 5. We don't eat at 5, we eat around 9 o'clock. That is something which is so deep within my consciousness, and I want to share. I did not answer your question correctly, Prabhuji, so please forgive. Thank you. Any other comments? I know it's 9:26. Please forgive me. Any comments before we end? Okay.
Prabhuji, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Such an amazing class. Thank you. Very grateful.
Thank you. Really grateful to you for blessings. I was just waiting. I'm like, this class cannot end before I seek your blessings. So I'm really grateful to you for your wonderful gesture. Thank you so much for the blessing. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveda Gaura Bhakta ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari Bol. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Grace Divyatirtha Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveda Gaura Bhakta ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We are eager to see you all in Sunday feast. His Grace Kadam Kanan Prabhu will be speaking and sharing the insights. So please don't miss the most important aspect of our devotional service by hearing and coming on Sunday, please. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
One sec, there is something in chat. One sec.
Hare Krishna. I missed that one.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thanks.